A 20-year-old curse has been broken and a personal demon exorcised. Let me explain. Over the past weekend, we just had Evo 2024, the largest fighting game tournament and convention on the planet, the absolute mecca of fighting games where players and fans and spectators from all over the world come to share in their joy in fighting games. And of course, for the top level competitors, they're all competing for that Evo Grand Championship, the most prestigious prize you can possibly win in the world of fighting games. And players across different countries, different backgrounds, and for different titles all came under one roof for the weekend to compete, including Third Strike, where we had some very interesting developments even before the matches even began here in the top six. Flexing or stretching on the competition here is Hayao, top level Hugo Main in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, was showing off the antics all weekend long. If you haven't seen his highlights of his gameplay and his pop-offs, you should definitely check it out. But, you know, he flexes on the competition, but he has the skills to back it up here. And he had this really, really tense moment in the top six against Frankie BFG, where he's down to a pixel, gets the air parry on the air Tatsu, gets the punish conversion on the ground, gets the overhead over the super, wakes up punish with the EX run lariat with the pop-off to boot, moving on in the Third Strike top six, pops off with the crowd. And his antics were just a lot of fun to watch. So probably the MVP of the weekend in a lot of people's eyes. You should check out his highlights if you haven't seen what he's done. But there's another big one over on Guilty Gear Strive, where Nitro out of New York City actually found himself in grand finals after being sent to losers by Tatuma. He reset the bracket and brought out the final game, final round, and he's here in position to potentially take his first Evo victory after getting second to Wawa in DBFZ in years prior. He switched over now to Guilty Gear Strive and was unexpected to go this far. People were not calling Nitro as a favorite to win it, but with his Jacko, an unexpected character as well, he finds himself one interaction away, gets the RC, finds a conversion there with the anti-air, and secures himself an Evo championship. Another champion for New York City. Evo, NYC claims another Evo champion. There he is popping off with his friends and community right there. The energy in the venue was amazing. Seeing, all the people rooting for him was absolutely beautiful. Definitely, I teared up a little bit watching this one. Can't lie. So definitely should check out that grand finals if you haven't seen that one yourself. But also, history has been made in the world of Tekken, where Arslan Ash, the 4-time Evo champion, found himself in grand finals once again, going up against his training partner, Atif here. And Arslan Ash, he very publicly was admitting his struggles with the new Tekken 8 engine, not really understanding how to approach it with its more aggressive techniques, with Heat Smash, Heat Rage, and all of those things added to this game, but finds himself one round away from claiming his 5th title, gets the block, gets the punish, and Arslan Ash, when it matters most, this guy delivers. 5-time Evo champion, undeniably now the GOAT of Tekken, and quite possibly the GOAT of all modern fighting games, to have 5 Evo championship titles in one of the most competitive games in the genre is absolutely unheard of in this era, so hats off to Arslan Ash. But of course, you're here on this channel, you're here for Street Fighter 6, and Street Fighter 6 returns to Evo in its second year as still the biggest tournament biggest game in this tournament, with over 5,000 entrants from all over the world gathering to compete under one roof this weekend. And with that many competitors, there's too many highlights, too many tales to be spun in the top 64, top 128 brackets. But I try to choose some of the highlights to give you an idea of what's going on with the bracket, including the current Evo Japan champion, the reigning champion Mena RD, who won Evo Japan on the previous patch a few months prior and was second place at Evo 2023. He finds himself a round away from being put into losers in winners round 3, really early in the tournament for someone of Mena RD's status right here, going up against Aqua, who's been a long time top level fighting game player from Japan. Gets the drive rush cancel from the crouch fierce, gets the cross up onto the other side, gets the conversion to the level 2, closes it out, and puts Mena RD into losers bracket early in quite a big upset. Aqua's a really strong player, but still, Mena RD was a favorite to not only just go far, but potentially win the whole thing. Going to losers this early makes it so much more difficult to do so. Mena does go on to make a run through losers to get into the losers top 24 when he runs into Nemo, a man who is determined to not lose early. Last Evo, he actually got 7th place, a cursed position if you will, to place at Evo. As previous years, Evo would have top 8 go on to the main stage. If you secure top 8, you would make it to the Sunday finals and be able to go onto the big main stage to compete for your chance to win in front of the entire audience. However, with the recent changes starting last year, only top 6 were able to actually proceed to that stage. Top 8 still got a medal. You were still able to play a 1-3 set, but if you didn't win that set right then and there, you were not making it to the Sunday finals. Nemo, after fighting hard in losers in Evo 2023, was eliminated at 7th place and is desperately trying to avoid that position this time, and therefore goes up against Mena RD. With M. Bison dropping JP to get M. Bison, plants the bomb here, finds the run overhead, gets this unique, nasty conversion with the bomb explosion, head stomp, the Hell Diver right there, gets the pickup with the back fist combo into the level 3 conversion. Huge damage with a relatively new DLC character, only a few weeks old as M. Bison, and doing work against Mena RD. Nemo then actually goes on to win this set to eliminate Mena RD, and Mena RD drops out of Evo prior to the top 6. So Nemo definitely determined to keep this run going. Moving on elsewhere, though, we have another legendary matchup. Tokido versus Punk in Winners Top 24. This is the final game, final round between them. Extremely close 10 set, fighting for the top 8 winner's side appearance. And, Tokido has long been the demon of Punk. He's been cursed with fighting, since ever fighting Tokido at Evo Grand Finals in 2017. But this time, he finds the quick DI. Immediate pop-off right there. Punk knows it's done. Stand fierce to level 3. Tokido holds on hope that he may actually survive the combo. He was staring directly at the monitor thinking if there's a chance, if this doesn't kill, I'm going to make the comeback. But Punk already knew with the damage calculation that it was over. And Punk takes another big win, which he's had several over Tokido in recent encounters. Many people were considering Punk to be cursed to lose to Tokido ever since that fateful Evo 2017 encounter where Punk got second to him when he was kind of destined to win the tournament. But Punk, showing that he is ready to play, makes it over Tokido into the top 6 winners side. But that said, what about, we saw second place, Mena RD already eliminated from Evo. What about Angry Bird, the current reigning champ? Well, he had to go up against Momochi, who's been on a tear recently in Japan using Ed, really revolutionizing this character by, evolving the meta of this character with the Dream combo, the level 2 extensions, and he finds himself one round away from eliminating or putting Angry Bird into losers and moving on into a critical phase of the bracket. Match point, both players here, finds the perfect parry, drops the basic B&B. That was a basic B&B drop there from Momochi. Angry Bird gets the punish. Finds himself in the corner. Last interaction will kill both of these players. Momochi does have the level 2. Finds the trade conversion. Gets into the OD Blitz instead of the level 2. He needs to land the combo now, and he does. Gets the conversion. Maximizes the damage. And puts Angry Bird into the loser's bracket. Now, Momochi had been grinding this combo hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. If you looked at Momochi after these combos were discovered, he spent hours every single day making sure that he had these desync, these dream combos on lock. And when it mattered most, he found the conversion to put the reigning Evo 2023 champ into the loser's bracket and to move on in winner's side. So big plays there from Momochi. But Angry Bird, he's not out of the bracket yet, but he has to go up against someone who may be even hungrier than Angry Bird himself, Nemo. I mentioned before how Nemo, after he was able to actually eliminate Mena RD, he did not want to get 7th place again. He found himself now in the 7th place match with Angry Bird, the reigning champion. He had been in this position before last year. He was cursed. He lost that match. He ended up getting 7th place and had to sit out of the arena and watch with the spectators as everyone else got to go to the main stage. And here he is up a round in the final game against Angry Bird with his M. Bison. And he is determined to not lose. Finds the perfect parry. Head stomp. Hell Diver reset. Gets to the other side. OD scissors to force the bomb into the corner. Finds the buffer into the OD Psycho Crusher, and this damage is ridiculous. No scaling on this. Gets the OD head stomp into the Stand Fierce level 3 conversion, and that is going to do it. Sigh of relief there, head in his hands from Nemo, as he knows that he is taking out both 1st and 2nd place. He took out Angry Bird and Mena RD to break the curse and find himself actually into the top 6 on Sunday. And Angry Bird, the reigning champ, has been eliminated at 7th place from Evo. So we're going to have a new champion this year. Angry Bird will not be doing the unheard of and getting 2 Evos back-to-back in the world of Street Fighter. But with that said, it is time to get into the action, and we had some words from Luke himself to set the tone for top 6.
Everything changes, but one thing remains the same. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them.
Luke taking Kendrick's bar right there. What's going on? Bar for bar right there. So sometimes you gotta pop out and show him. That's pretty awesome that Luke, the voice actor for Luke himself, actually came out to do a custom intro song for the Street Fighter 6 top 6. And we have our cast of characters competing for the championship. Of course, we have Ending Walker, Big Bird, Punk, Momochi, Nemo, and Jen competing for this title in the Sunday finals. And Ending Walker, the young prodigy here, this is his very first Evo, finds himself in top 6 winner's side. If you're not familiar with Ending Walker, he's only currently 17 years old. Burst onto the scene after the first major international event when COVID started to subside a little bit at UFA 2022 in Street Fighter V with his Ed back then, dominating the international competition, and actually ended up getting a 5th place finish in the final Capcom Cup for Street Fighter V, all with under the age of 17, like 16 years old at the time, which is absolutely unheard of. And at his first Evo is making a legendary run. And then, of course, we have Big Bird, who is no stranger to this position because Big Bird actually got 2nd place at Evo 2019. He just recently switched off his Marissa to his Rashid, and he found immediate success by doing that. He's the DreamHack Sweden champion with that character as well. So he is on a hot streak leading up to this and is very primed to find himself in a good position to take the whole tournament. And then, of course, Punk, the God, one of the most consistent players of all time, the most winningest Street Fighter V player, top 3 at Evo 2023 as well. And he's been in a position to win these major international tournaments, but it hasn't quite crossed that finish line until just recently at CEO. CEO 2024 was a DreamHack an Esports World Cup qualifier, had a ton of international competition, and Punk was able to claim the title there, claim the belt there, and he even got his big win over Tokido to find himself in this position to be in top 6 winners. So he's looking very poised to take the whole tournament. And then, of course, Momochi here also on the winner's side. Just been on an incredible hot streak. If you've been watching Topanga League, he had a really strong performance at Topanga League, rocking Ed, revolutionizing how this character performs. Got the big win over Angry Bird himself, the reigning Evo champion as well, to find himself in this position. So he's looking extremely strong. And then on the loser side, Nemo with a legendary loser side run after losing 0-2 to Punk, taking out Mena RD, Tachikawa, Xiaohai, and Angry Bird to find himself in this position. The man is determined to make the final stage, and he finds himself finally in that top 6 arena once again, where he's been previous years, especially in Street Fighter V. He's been in this position, Street Fighter 4 as well. No stranger to the top 6, top 8 for Evo for Street Fighter, but finally gets it done for Street Fighter 6. And then, of course, we have Jen, the player who came out of nowhere at Capcom Cup, the final Capcom Cup for Street Fighter V, winning the LCQ there, then going all the way to the Grand Finals, undefeated the whole way, except for by Mena RD in Winners Finals and Grand Finals. And he had a legendary run here as well, taking out players like Sako, Mago, Gachi-kun, Nephew, losing to Momochi, but taking out Tokido, eliminating him there to find himself into the top 6. So with the stage set, the bracket laid out before us, we have our matches set for a legendary top 6. So first up, Ending Walker versus Big Bird. So what did Ending Walker think about his first time appearing in at Evo and making top 6 winners? I'm so happy I managed to make top 6 winners side at Evo. Looking forward to tomorrow where I play Big Bird FGC. And Big Bird, of course, had some kind words for him in return. Sorry, kid, but Evo Top 6 is about to run till 10 p.m., and that's past your bedtime. I'll be doing you a favor. You're welcome in advance. So, you know, a bit of friendly banter right there between the two, but how did the gameplay actually turn out? Well, you know, Ending Walker, he did find his footing there, getting a game in there, but here we have Big Bird at match points. Finds the check there. Big Bird finding the conversion. Low drive meter situation, but it has a level 2 to back him up here. Escapes that situation, but the low forward connects. Overhead connects. Resets the level 2, doing the work. Finds the extension with the OD into the mixer. Into the level 1. One interaction away. Eddie Walker attempted to command dash out of the corner, escape that situation, but a command dash back in. 3-1 speed run from Big Bird. So you can see the nerves in the young player in his play, but don't worry, he has his loser side bracket to try to make some redemption there. But Big Bird moves on to winners finals of Evo here. And then on to the next match, Punk versus Momochi. This is a very, very interesting match. Punk actually had a lot of losses to Ed prior to this event, leading up to this shine with Ed in the NA online scene. Actually got multiple wins over Punk with Ed, but something about the styles in the clash here, you can just see in this round, it just played into Punk's hands. So Momochi gets the knockdown. Punk finds the low forward. Immediate conversion to the level 3 here. He's on match point. Momochi is really low in drive meter, trying to force his burnout as fast as possible. Pixel a drive meter away. Waits it out. Finds the low forward. Easy confirm there for Punk the God. Dominating performance over Momochi. Was looking extremely solid and maybe the favorite to win it over the whole weekend until Punk just shut down his style. He just seems to know exactly how to counter Momochi's calculated and safe style with his own strong spacing and footsies game. So Punk moves on to the winners finals. Loser side of things, Eddie Walker, he mentioned to Big Bird himself how nervous he was to be on the big stage for the first time. And Big Bird actually said that he told Eddie Walker personally, "You have nothing to be nervous about. This is your first Evo. You've already outperformed all expectations to make it this far." And with those words, it seemed like Eddie Walker, he found his top 6 legs here going up against Zhen. Here he is on set point in this match. Speed running, playing a scrappy offensive style. Finds the drive rush conversion, gets into the plus frame situation. And look at the stagger. Gets into throw range. This slight stagger there. Crouching medium kick to the full conversion. Probably baiting out a throw tech from Zhen. Does the full drive rush conversion. Gets into the level 3. It's a will it kill moment. Sajam doubts it's going to kill. But Eddie Walker knew. Spent the resources appropriately. Gets the kill with the max damage conversion. And Zhen has been eliminated after an amazing run to young Eddie Walker, who's moving on in the bracket with his signature character, Ed. On the other side of things, Momochi now has to go up against Nemo. Nemo, who fought so hard to be in this position to not be eliminated at 7th place to avoid the stadium, to actually make it onto the big stage, to break the curse. And here we have Momochi up around in the first game. Nemo's fighting back, and then suddenly, disaster. Disaster has struck. Just when you thought the curse was broken for Lord Nemo here, his controller ends up going out after being down around in this game. And it takes about 10 minutes for him to find a replacement controller. Staff was trying to offer him different controllers. Essentially, he had to use someone else's controller that was foreign to his own in order to continue the set, which is a huge detriment because not only did he have to use now a different controller than what he is used to, he was also forced to take the loss on this game. So Momochi starts the set up a game against Nemo, and Nemo is playing on a different peripheral than he's used to. And this is like the curse of Momochi. This is really harkens back to Evo 2015 Grand Finals, which Momochi ended up winning over GamerB. In the final game, GamerB had a technical controller disconnect, which cost him a round. They picked up and played from there, and then Momochi ends up taking the Evo win over GamerB. But it seems like Nemo avoided the curse of the 7th place finish, but was instead encountered by the curse of Momochi and the controller disconnects. His opponents in high-level situations seem to keep having their controllers be disconnected and have issues, giving him a slight advantage in the set. So as the set played out, Momochi was in complete control. It's hard to say if Nemo was shook by the situation and having to play on an unfamiliar controller, but you saw there Momochi with the anti-air conversion pickup with Ed there. It was a 3-0 finish for Momochi over Nemo, and Nemo, he has a new curse now to look forward to, the curse of the controller causing him to potentially be eliminated prematurely from Evo 2024. But that said, we are moving on to the next phase of the bracket. We have our winners finals. Punk versus Big Bird in kind of a classic matchup, one that Punk is usually heavily favored in. However, at this stage with the bright lights and the big crowd, you never know what's going to happen between these players. But as we get into the match, it was essentially a speed run. We see here Punk here at match point, 2 rounds, 2 games up over Big Bird. Finds the nice, easy, low forward confirm, putting Big Bird into the loser's bracket as Punk moves on to grand finals, winner's side of Evo. So this, like I said, historically, really tough matchup for Big Bird. He's generally had a really hard time fighting against Punk in tournaments, and Punk is looking as sharp and as solid as ever, and it's looking like it's his tournament to lose at this point. On the loser side of things, though, we have a very interesting match. Ending Walker going up against Momochi here. Ending Walker was the Ed player in Street Fighter V. No one had anywhere near the level of competitive success as this young kid did have with Ed in the post-COVID era, right before Street Fighter 6 came out. He went to Topanga League in Japan as well, was dominating, well, not dominating, but performing extremely well, finishing in the 7th place finish there in Topanga League, 5th place at Capcom Cup. Big international victories at UFA over top international talent. He was the Ed player for Street Fighter V. Coming into Street Fighter 6, Ed has been out for less than a year now, and Momochi, he's been the star of the show in terms of Ed. Ending Walker actually had a lot of tournaments where he didn't perform up to his standards. He went across the world to the DreamHacks and to the mix-up in order to potentially qualify for the Esports World Cup, and kept coming up short, like with a 65th finish, a top 32 here and there, but far below the standards that he would have set for himself, and far below the qualifications spots that he needed to get into the Esports World Cup. So really, all eyes were on Momochi, who was popularizing the Dream combo and doing really big plays in Topanga League and going very far in the Japanese tournament circuit. So people were looking to Momochi as the Ed. So with that said, you can see why they they refer to Momochi as that. Even though Ending Walker does go up the first game, look at this ridiculous round for Momochi here. Ending Walker ends up doing an improper combo conversion, which gives Momochi the opportunity to land the dream. There's the desync, pulls him out with the delayed heavy punch blitz to get the manually timed combo. Very difficult to perform, especially under a high-pressure situation, but the meter build and the damage to quarter carry is too good. And in fact, because of the meter build from that conversion, he finds himself with another level 2 combo already at this point, finds the cross-up. He had built the level 2 back already, a second level 2 in the same round. Does the easier combo conversion here, and is just absolutely mauling Ending Walker in the corner. And look at the offensive pressure from Momochi. 2 level 2s in 1 round to tie up the set 1-1 with Ending Walker, showing his flair with the dream combo and his strategy with Ed. But, Ending Walker, he's played this character for much longer, and his scrappy style is finally starting to show once he gets more and more comfortable in this position. And he finds himself at set point over Momochi at 2-2 here. Anti-airs Momochi there, gets the neutral jump to bait the throw. Momochi isn't biting, gets the throw there. Puts himself in burnout. Level 2 to control space. Level 2 in return from Momochi. Ending Walker knows he can just dash right through that. Finds the check. Wiggles his way in. A little bit of a scramble situation, but that's exactly where Ending Walker thrives. And Ending Walker takes his title back as the best Ed on the planet, and shows off his positivity potato right there. In the process as well. The positivity potato being a present that his mother handmade for him, and has now become a bit of an international celebrity in its own right. So Momochi is eliminated at 4th place, and Ending Walker, at his first Evo appearance at 17, moves on to the losers finals. And who's he fighting in that losers finals? Well, he's going up again against Big Bird, the man who speed ran through him in the winner's side top 6 when Ending Walker was too nervous to properly play his game. But Ending Walker is looking refreshed and ready to go at this point. So how does this set go down? Well, let's take a look here. Here we have this moment. Big Bird at set point. Ending Walker 1 game up, about to be eliminated. The level 2 on him. And with it all on the line, Ending Walker lets it rip. I mean, this kid was known for walking up into people's faces with Ed and doing meaty DP to bait out any kind of option from them. So he definitely doesn't know fear like that. He might have been nervous early on, but the nerves are gone. And that was definitely his tournament life on the line right there with that reversal. It lands, and he survives another round. However, he doesn't survive for much longer. He's fighting back valiantly here against Big Bird, trying to clear the screen with the projectiles. Big Bird is looking to get one more touch to close it out, using the drive meter to get the rush down, gets the combo conversion with the counter hit, and eliminates Ending Walker at third place. But nothing to be ashamed of. He definitely had an amazing run. And with that, he actually earns his Esports World Cup qualification, as Punk and Big Bird are already qualified. So that spot definitely goes now to Ending Walker. And with that said, though, we now have our grand finals set up. Punk versus Big Bird in Evo Grand Finals. And it's interesting because neither of these players are new to this position. Big Bird here, he's also fighting to avenge his brother here, his training partner, his longtime friend, Angry Bird, who was the Evo 2023 champion. So, of course, one of the Birds has to be back in this position. He's also looking to avenge himself because Big Bird back in 2019 was in Evo Grand Finals for Street Fighter V, and this time he went through the entire loser side top 8 to make it all the way to Grand Finals up against Bonchan, and unfortunately eventually fell in that set 3-2 to Bonchan in a very close set, unable to reset the bracket, and he was eliminated there at second place, so close from claiming his Evo title. And Punk the God, of course, very famously has been in this position as well. And in fact, he's fighting not just to avenge himself, but he's fighting for a bit more than that. Because you see, Punk the God, he really burst onto the scene back in 2016 at the very end of that. He came out and did really well at the NA Regional Finals, didn't win that one, didn't quite make it to Capcom Cup, but people were starting to notice that this kid, really young at the time, is extremely strong at Street Fighter V. Well, that 2017 season kind of proved it. He was by far the most winningest player that CPT season, winning many premier events with 3,080 points here, with Tokido in second with 2,125. Just head and shoulders above the competition in terms of consistency. He wasn't winning these tournaments. He was placing really high, and he by far had the most premier wins in this 2017 season. And in fact, as he was approaching Evo, he was definitely the favorite by far to win the whole event. And he was doing really well that event. In fact, before top 8, he managed to send Tokido into the loser side to secure his top 8 finish. But, there's been a bit of a mystique, a bit of a curse around Evo. So for many, many decades now, well, a couple of decades, many, many years, there's been an issue. 2009, Justin Wong versus Daigo. Daigo takes it in the Street Fighter IV, Vanilla Street Fighter IV Evo Grand Finals. 2010, Ricky Ortiz versus Daigo in Super Street Fighter IV. Daigo ends up taking it. And in fact, we see the same thing happen in 2017. After everyone betting on Punk, after being so dominant the whole year, after putting Tokido into the loser's bracket, Tokido resets the bracket, and in dominating fashion from that point forward, eliminates Punk the God and claims the 2017 Street Fighter V Evo title. And with that, the favorite to win it all didn't quite get the job done. And many people look to this moment as the moment where Punk the God was human, where it was his Evo to win, and he came up short. And from this moment forward, people began to doubt his talent, doubt his ability to win. While he obviously had the skills to be the best player on the planet, people were wondering, when the lights were bright, when it all came down to it, could he get the job done? And in fact, they're also wondering, will USA ever be able to win an Evo championship? Because we get close again one more time a few years later with Idom versus Kawano in 2022, where Idom makes it to the final game, final round before succumbing to Kawano's Colleen. And with the final Evo championship for Street Fighter V, Japan takes it once again, and USA is left with 0 Evo titles. And in fact, for 20 years, USA has been unable to win the main current title in Street Fighter IV Evo. While they might have won some not current titles with previous generation of games, no latest current title has been won by an American player ever in the past 20 years of Evo history. We've gotten close, we've gotten seconds, we've been in the top 8, but it seemed like America was cursed to never win a Street Fighter title. So the weight of this pressure to represent America is on Punk's shoulders as well, but it's a bit more than that for him, because you see, even after this 2017 defeat for Punk the God, he goes on to have an amazing competitive career, winning many major titles. And in 2019, he's back to being the top dog in Street Fighter V, 4,815 points in the CPT season, once again, clearly number one, with Bonchan in second with 4,045 points. And he's in a prime position to take his first Capcom Cup victory. You know, Evo is the most prestigious in the Street Fighter world, but Capcom Cup is the second most and has the largest prize pool. So, as a competitive Street Fighter player, the two tournaments you want to win the most are Evo and Capcom Cup. And at this point, while Punk has won many majors, he's won the most tournaments out of anybody in the game. He has neither of those titles, even while he is, in the eyes of many, the most talented and quite possibly the best player on the planet. And in fact, at Capcom Cup 2019, he ends up going up against an unknown underdog relative to the masses here, IDOM. IDOM was a local NYC competitor who for years was being gatekept by Punk. And in this photo right here, this is actually IDOM being gatekept by Punk again. This was like the NA Regional Finals where the winner of this earned a spot in the Capcom Cup. And if a player who already qualified to Capcom Cup won it, the spot just dissolved. Punk was in Grand Finals, clearly qualified to Capcom Cup by being the highest ranked player. He wins over IDOM out of nowhere, who IDOM basically has 0 CPT points to his name, and keeps IDOM from Capcom Cup. Fast forward to 2019, they are in Grand Finals of Capcom Cup. At this point, Punk has at least a 90% win rate over IDOM. IDOM has like one tournament win over Punk, but Punk is consistently beating IDOM, and it was his tournament to lose. And then the unthinkable happens. IDOM resets the bracket. Punk begins to crumble. His combos don't complete. His hit confirms don't land. And Punk throws Capcom Cup 2019. IDOM clutches it. And beyond any prediction, no one would have called this. IDOM is your 2019 Capcom Cup champion. So from that point forward, it became a pattern. Here we have Punk at the 2023 LCQ for Capcom Cup. He sent Problem X to the losers bracket. Problem X then gets into the grand finals to fight Punk and resets the bracket and sweeps him in the grand finals to qualify for Capcom Cup. Capcom Cup 2023 proceeds without Punk even qualifying. You see, at this point, Punk had a problem. While being the most talented player on the planet and having the most accolades, he has no Evo, he has no Capcom Cup, he has no Grand Slam to his name. And on top of that, you know, Punk is a very polarizing figure. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's very brash, he's cocky, but he has the skills to back it up. He speaks his mind, he speaks his heart. He has no filter whatsoever. So while he has earned many, many fans throughout his career by being undoubtedly the most talented, raw talented fighting player on or Street Fighter player on the planet, he's also earned his fair of detractors and haters who are essentially waiting to call out Punk's next choke. They're looking for the next opportunity to tear him down, to, you know, jeer when he fails, to see the next Punk choke, because it feels like the man has been cursed ever since that Tokido 2017 Evo Grand Finals to be in a prime position to win a Grand Slam and to just watch it slip between his fingers. So carrying the curse of USA on his back, but also his own personal demon that he is trying to work through in order to secure his first ever Evo championship. So how does it go in the first set? Well, we start off here in the first game. Big Bird up around here, level 2 on the screen. Punk and Burnout along with Big Bird defending against the high-low mix, finds himself into the corner, plus frames. Level 1 super to get the chip. Level 1 in return to survive. Gets the jump throw bait, and Big Bird takes the first game. All smiles from these two close friends and competitors here. It's only the first game. Punk has a whole set to blow. Big Bird is forced to win 3 games before we get to the Grand Finals reset. So, you know, it's just early for Punk. No big deal, but really interesting interactions here as Big Bird goes up 1-0 over Punk. And then on to the next game. Both these players with a round. Level 2 activation from Big Bird with his Rashid. Parries out to avoid the mix. Plus frames from the enhanced mixer. 1 throw. What's the mix here? The enhanced tornado blocks the DP. Drops the punish. Gets in with the OD mixer. Blocks the second DP. At this point, no smiles from the competitors. That's a quick 2-0 games for Big Bird in this first set. And when these DPs started to be blocked, it showed signs of the crack. You could feel the tension in the room. You could feel the crowd start to go silent because they're looking for an American competitor to take the whole thing. They're looking for Punk to succeed. and the crowd began to worry. And, we were scared that we're going to see the same Punk we've seen many times in this position, poised to take it all, to just watch victory slip it between his fingers. And no smiles this time from the competitors as we go into game 3 of the first set of grand finals. Here, Punk is up around. Big Bird once again. Yasar, level 2 from Rashid. Pretty good, huh? I love this interaction here. In order to avoid the oncoming tornado, Punk looks for the single hit confirm into the level 2, goes into the cinematic, which then avoids the tornado and gets this knockdown here. Tries to bait out the meter there. Finds the burnout from Big Bird, but the footsie's level 2. The laughs out again. I really love this decision here from Big Bird. He knows that Punk is going to try to take his turn back right there after whiffing the Arabian Cyclone there on the ground. Just goes for the raw level 1 in the face of defeat. Finds the hit. Big Bird goes up around here to take this game to the final round. And here we have Punk having Big Bird cornered. Burns the drive meter real quick to try to get something going. He has level 3 on deck, so he wants to be able to land and confirm into level 3 to close out this set. But with him burning the resources, any button to level 2 is guaranteed. So Big Bird just finds the counter poke to activate level 2. If that was blocked, he would get guaranteed pressure and mix on that anyways, because Punk would have no drive meter to do anything about it. So Punk ants to get a game here in the first set, ends up going down 3-0. You can see the sigh of relief from Big Bird there and the stress on Punk's face, and we were worried. The crowd was worried. Punk was worried. After being up in the grand finals, coming from winner's side, after sending Big Bird to losers 3-0, Punk was speed ran through 3-0 in return, and now we have a final set situation between these two. And like I mentioned before, Tokido versus Punk. Punk put Tokido into losers, and then in Evo Grand Finals, Tokido resets the bracket and ends up taking the victory. Capcom Cup, Punk put Idom into losers. Punk Idom comes back from loser side, resets the bracket, and takes Capcom Cup 2019. Capcom Cup LCQ 2023, Punk put Problem X into losers. Problem X comes back in grand finals, resets the bracket, and takes the whole tournament once again. We've seen this position for Punk time and time again. So, will things be the same? Will the curse remain? Or will fate be decided by Punk this time? As we go to the grand finals, final set here. Big Bird lands its back throw. The DI through the fireball, too late for that. That setup does not work. Sets up the level 2 with Punk and a burnout with very few options remaining here. Plus frames on the enhanced mixer, plus frames on the regular mixer, plus frames again. Blocks the overhead, goes for the raw level 1. Big Bird had gone for a throw there to close out the round. It actually ends up connecting. Stays alive. Doesn't get chipped by the OD fireball right there, and he secures his own jump back footsie level 1. Karma for the level 1 that Big Bird let rip and the neutral interaction earlier there. And Punk takes the first round of the grand finals reset. He ends up taking that game as well. And as we move into game 2, both these players are playing extra sharp. As you can see, perfects on both sides with Punk up a game here. And then as we go into this round, Punk is going into the pressure, spending his own drive meter to force Big Bird into a burnout situation. Clean anti-airs from Punk. Goes to the low forward drive rush because he knows that if he finds any hit, he has level 3 available. It will kill in that position. But it doesn't work out. Level 2 Yasar on top of Punk, and what happens? The cartwheel through cross-up mix. Yeah, Punk was a little antsy there, spending the drive meter to hopefully land a hit and secure the level 3 to make him up 2-0. And instead, he finds himself in a 1-1 position. A world of difference apart right there as the set stays close with Big Bird finding the clutch mix-up in the end. So, with a 1-1 score, Punk here finds his level 3. Wake up, stand fierce punch from Big Bird to try to stave off the burnout, but this was a clean victory from Punk. Not showing any signs of nerves as he brings the score back 2-1. Waving down the production, that was a little scary there as well. Waving down production, his headphones actually lost audio there during that level 3 animation, but they quickly swap out the headsets and the show continues on with Punk up 2-1 in the grand finals reset. But what does Big Bird have to say about that? We have another quick game from Big Bird. He's up around here just as fast as Punk won that previous one. Blocks out the pressure, avoids the confirms from Punk to get into level 3, finds the drive rush, low forward confirm, gets the counter hit overhead, which causes the combo there. and avoids getting clipped by any low forward into level 3. And we have a final game situation. Final game of Evo between these two competitors. Two players who have been in this position before, second place at Evo. Neither of them wants to be a two-time second place finisher, but we are going to the final game of the entire tournament here. And how does it start out? Getting in there is Big Bird, but excellent use of the jump dive kick here from Punk. This was a consistent technique that he busted out in this tournament, and both players were using this throughout the rounds, using the air OD moves, which is immediate jump OD dive kick from Punk with Cammy, or immediate air OD Arabian Cyclone from Big Bird, which punishes throw tech or offensive throw options and leads into full combos. So Punk banks on his final bit of drive gauge on this jump OD dive kick to punish Big Bird for going for immediate throw attempt. It happens to land right here. Gets the offense started. Target combo confirmed. Level 1, he's trying to get a mutual burnout situation. Big Bird has a sliver drive meter left. That wake up stand fierce was so key from Big Bird. He forces a trade with the meaty drill attempt. Even though he eats the damage there, if he was actually forced to block that drill, he probably would have been put into a burnout situation. So he'll take this damage from the trade to avoid this potential burnout. So avoids burnout here. Controls the neutral a little longer. And now Punk has the life lead, but Big Bird has the meter advantage. Jab counter hit confirm. Dash forward, dash back, shimmy. Baits out the wake up throw tech there from Big Bird. And Punk is now 1 round away from being an Evo champion and from breaking the curse. But as we proceed, Big Bird, the lights are not too bright for him. Burn the level 2 to get the corner control here. Starts with the Rashid Vortex into the safe jump mix up, high-low. Or throw. Goes for the throw in this situation. Punk is in the corner. Meaty pressure. Plus frames. Meaty pressure. Plus frames. Take throw. What's the next mix? Punk attempts to jump out of the corner. The low forward connects. And a perfect in the final game for Big Bird against Punk the God. And now both players are on set point. Both players are on tournament point as we go into the final round of Evo 2024. And we'll watch how this one plays out. Big Bird finds first contact, lands the throw into immediate level 2. This is the perfect position for Big Bird to take the tournament. The parry doesn't work here. Punk expected Big Bird to actually throw this tornado into the parry. He was wanting to absorb it to avoid the mix and to rebuild his drive meter. But Big Bird, knowing that Punk was expecting that, goes for the actual command dash through it. But instead of going for the forward throw here, or the back throw into the corner, he ends up throwing Punk into the tornado, which allows Punk to wake up parry here to get his drive meter back and restored, which gives him a chance at life. Now, Punk down a lot in life, down below around 40%. 3 bars of meter to Big Bird 0. And this is the moment where champions are made or broken.
Down 60%.
We need a low forward drivers to get this started.
That is the moment that decided the tournament. These two players have been displaying the utmost level of skill in Street Fighter. Perfect footsies, pressure, offensive mix, and of course, anti-airs. Their anti-airs have been perfect throughout this entire tournament. No jumps were gone unpunished, or at least they were perfect parried or blocked if they weren't contested with an uppercut or a reversal motion. Big Bird stared the jump in the face, and the lights were too bright, which allowed Punk to land the jump in to begin making this comeback. Combo conversion to the corner. He attempted to then use the OD Arabian Cyclone here, like I mentioned before. Both these players were using a ton of wake-up OD moves in order to go into the air to be airborne to avoid throw pressure. That's why Punk goes for the super strong meaty right here, gets the full combo conversion. He has enough meter. He just needs one more hit. And he lands low forward, completes the basic combo, converts into the level 3, and Punk is the Evo 2024 champion. Both these players have been in this position. They both know how much it means to each other. And after consoling his good friend, the tears finally flow. That moment from 2017, 7 years ago, has been weighing this man down ever since. Every time he got close to winning his Grand Slam, every time he got close to succeeding in this field, there was a small voice that would remind him of that moment. And the community was very quick to remind him as well. But after 7 years for his personal journey and 20+ years for the American FGC, the curse has been broken. And Punk is your Evo 2024 champion. But as things go on, you know, Punk celebrates his victory right here, very tearful, holding the trophy right here. The weight of the world lifted off his shoulders. I fear for his competition going forward because while he was always the most consistent player, it felt like his mental block prevented him from being the most dominant on the biggest stages. And now that he doesn't have to win anymore, I think he just might win it all. So I know all the competitors at the Esports World Cup are fearing this man's arrival. Punk Unleashed might be coming to the Street Fighter circuit, and I would not be surprised to see his dominant performance continue for a long time after this. But as for Big Bird, you know, the legends of victories and defeats are always being written. This man is now a 2-time Capcom Cup finalist or Evo finalist, 2-time second place finish. And maybe while one curse is being broken, another is forming. And it's only a matter of time before we see if Big Bird can be unleashed as well. That's all I have for this video. Listen, I want to personally take this time to say thank you to everyone I met at Evo. I got to meet a ton of people, have a lot of great conversations. And if you took a photo with me, had me sign something or said what's up, I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to know that these videos actually reach people and have some sort of positive impact on the community. So thank you so much for that. And for anyone just stopping by and watching, thank you so much for enjoying this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.